Joe Schoen over the weekend hopped on Sirius XM radio, and I thought he spilled the beans on what his plan is for Jaxson Dart and his rookie season with the New York Football Giants. And we're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's just dive into it. Joe Schoen saying, quote, "We've been through this before. We went through it with Josh Allen. We had a little bit different of a quarterback room at the time, but Josh Allen was going to sit his rookie year. And then at halftime of the opening game, we were getting smoked by Baltimore, so we put Josh in, and the rest was history. So that plan didn't go as well, but we didn't have a Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston in the room at that time." Before I really dive into this, and we have a couple more quotes that are really the meat and potatoes of today's show, can we just stop with the Josh Allen and the Jaxson Dart stuff? Can we please stop comparing Josh to Jackson or Jackson to Josh, or how Josh went about it this way and that means Jackson has to go about it this way? Can we please stop? There's been a lot of talk about Abdul Carter wearing number 56 or Phil Simms saying he can wear number 11 and everyone getting in their feelings and crying on Twitter saying we cannot unretire jerseys. You should have a bigger problem with your general manager and head coach comparing the quarterback that you picked in the back half of the first round to the league MVP. It is unfair. It's not even right. And you're putting an unnecessary pressure on Jaxson Dart, who I think will be able to handle the pressure. He is cool as a cucumber. But from now and going forward, myself and yourself and Joe Schoen and John Mayer and all the people in the building that I know watch this show, Jaxson Dart is his own man. Josh Allen is his own man. Let's just operate it like that going forward. There is no reason to continue to try to have the people connected at the hip. They are completely different. The only thing that is similar is they were drafted in round one, and they were drafted without the intention to start year one. Outside of that, I don't really care what else is similar. Let Jackson be Jackson. And I want to say this as well. Just like Joe Schoen said in that opening quote, the plan was for Josh to sit his rookie season, but they were getting smoked in week one against Baltimore. So he came in and he played great and the rest was history. And what I mean by saying that is things in this league can change very, very quickly. The plan may be for Jaxson Dart to sit the entire year, but there could be a domino effect of some things to happen where you might have to just throw Jaxson Dart out there. I thought what Joe Schoen said here was interesting. Quote, "Jackson's going to come in. He's got to learn the offense. There's a lot to learn. These NFL offenses are hard to grasp and pick up and then be able to go out and execute. So the ability for him to learn and sit behind two consummate pros already will be beneficial for him." And again, still, injuries occur. You know we've played 7 quarterbacks over the last 2 years. So he's going to have to prepare like he's going to have to play. So again, you want him to come in, develop a routine, learn how to be a pro, learn how to study the game. And then, if his number's called and he has to go out and execute, he's going to need to be ready. A lot really pops out from that quote to me. Let's start with this. I think it is evidently very clear, and you can kind of just hear him saying it without saying it. I think it would be of the best interest for Joe Schoen, and I think Joe Schoen believes it's best if Jaxson Dart sits his entire rookie season. And a lot goes into that. And we did a video on the channel the other day where we reacted to Rich Eisen and his co-host having a conversation about it. I'm not going to go into that deep of detail. You can go watch that. Videos on the channel with Dart and Rich Eisen on the thumbnail. There's a lot of reasons that Joe Schoen would want him to sit. One, he's not ready. And two, the unknown is always more beautiful than the known. And a rookie quarterback playing in their rookie year isn't good for a head coach and GM on the hot seat. Because if he struggles, they are both going to be fired. And if they don't play him his rookie year, the Giants can go up to management and say, "We drafted this kid. We have a plan for this kid. Give us 1 year to let him go out and play and prove to you, me, and everybody that he is that guy." But most importantly, the last thing Jaxson Dart needs is to play if he is not ready. And you listen to everybody that knows everything about football, all the people that do all the All-22 stuff, everyone sings a similar song, that he needs a year to sit. Talented, but young. Raw, but a lot of juice in the tank. But he needs to sit and learn, be in an NFL room, and he will benefit drastically learning from Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston and Shea Tierney and so on and so forth. Another thing that I always go back to is the Giants should want to play Dart when he is ready, but also when the team is ready for a rookie quarterback. I thought the Giants did a good job over the last couple of years building up an ecosystem that could kind of nurture a young quarterback. But in the next 365 days, there should be two things on the front office's mind. Get Jaxson Dart ready to play in week 1 of 2026, but also build the best roster you possibly can. So even if he does struggle and trip out of the gate, there are people around him and talented football players around him that can catch him and carry him to victories if he is not ready to carry the team to victories. Because if Dart plays and Dart struggles, that's not great for Brian Daboll. How many coaches did we see last year get fired that played rookie quarterbacks, and maybe they were good or they weren't good, but the image and the taste that it left in the owner's mouth was that guy is not the right guy for the job, like Matt Eberflus with the Chicago Bears or Gerard Mayo with the New England Patriots. Just because you play a rookie quarterback doesn't mean you get to coach him in year 2. It's actually more likely you'll get to coach him in year 2 if they don't play in year 1 because you can sell the owner and the GM on the unknown. But if he struggles under Brian Daboll in year 1, there's not going to be a lot of belief that he'll be able to have benefit and play better in year 2. This year is all about development for Jaxson Dart. He can go out and play. He's got all the talent in the world. He's got the arm. He's got the legs. He's got the charisma. He's got the competitiveness. And he's got the athletic ability. But I want him to think the game. I want him to see the game and learn the game without playing. Because in life, yes, it's always nice to learn something by practice. But when you can think it, when you can see it, and you can understand it by just visually watching, that is going to, in my opinion, just put your trajectory on a completely different level of understanding everything. Jaxson Dart needs that. Needs to watch film. Needs to be in a film room and learn from guys that have done it at a high level, like Russell Wilson, who is going to be a Hall of Famer and is an NFL champion. Jameis Winston has thrown for 5,000 yards in this league. He can learn from both of those things. A couple more thoughts to dive into on today's show, but first, I want the audience in the comments section to get rolling. 2.5 starts for Jaxson Dart this year. Over, under, sound off for me, and go support your rookie quarterback and get his jersey today by going to chatsports.com/Dart. That's chatsports.com/Dart. You can also get your Abdul Carter jersey as well. Chatsports.com/Carter. All of those links will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. All lowercase letters. Chatsports.com/Carter. Chatsports.com/Dart. When it comes to 2.5 starts, I think it is going to be under for Jaxson Dart. And a lot of things can change, but if you tell me that Russell Wilson is healthy for 17 games, and Jameis Winston is healthy for 17 games, I am going to say under on 2.5 starts for Dart. I do think there is a world that he can play. If you get into week 14 and you're 2-11, or you get into week 15 and you're 2-12, or you're 3-12, or you're 3-11, whatever it is, if the season is lost and you're now playing for draft pick slot value over trying to push for a playoff spot, then you could put Jaxson Dart in. But I kind of think, and I am also hoping, fingers crossed, that never happens. Because I think this roster is much better. And I think it's very obvious the New York Giants went out and committed $20 million of their salary cap to Russell Wilson because they think he can win football games. And I think that's not that bad of a thought. He did that for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. In his first 6 games, they were 5-1. The offense was humming. He was putting up good numbers. He was carrying that team. People were talking about Pittsburgh being scary again. And there was injuries on the offensive line, injuries to his weapons, and the strength of the schedule drastically heated up. And he went 1-5 over the final 6 games. But if you're telling me that Russell Wilson can throw for 3,800 yards in a 17-game season, throwing for over 225 a night with 24 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and if he goes 5-1 and then 1-5 and he ends up 6-6 through 12 games, I think all Giants fans would be pretty damn happy if the New York Giants were 6-6 after the first 12 weeks of the NFL season. And you also signed Russell Wilson because this team got better, and there's a belief inside that building, I can promise you this, that they can compete for a wild card spot this year. They drastically improved the quarterback room, but they didn't really lose anybody that I thought contributed to winning at all. Azeez Ojulari was an edge 3 that ended the season on injured reserve. Jason Pinnock is a solid rotational safety, but but he was a starting safety for the Giants. Only got a 1-year veteran minimum deal from the Niners. Dory Jackson, 1-year veteran minimum deal for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Drew Lock went back to being a backup for the Seattle Seahawks. So you lost one starter in Jason Pinnock. And at that safety spot, to replace him, you went out and signed Javon Holland, who was the best safety in NFL free agency. You also saw a weakness at the cornerback room with Deonte Banks. You move him to CB2, and you bring in the best cornerback in free agency in Paulson Adebo. You brought in legitimate depth on the defensive line in Chauncey Golston. You upgraded from the worst quarterback room I have ever seen with Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and other players to Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. And you left the draft with the best player in the class in Abdul Carter, a quarterback that you love. Darius Alexander, a defensive tackle, who's going to start and play year one. Cam Scadaboo, who's going to start and play year one. Like, this team got a lot better, and I can promise you that people inside the building believe that they not just can win games this year, but they can compete in every single ball game. People believe that work for the Giants that they can win games 20-17, 17-16, 14-13. They believe they've built one of the best defenses in the National Football League, and they should feel that way. And they think if they can get non-turnover or turnover-free football from their quarterbacks, they can win games. And they're hoping that because they need that. Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen need this team to win games. Because I remember what John Mara said at the end of the season. If we're in this situation, this time, next year, we'll be having a different conversation about our head coach and general manager. And if the Giants win less than 6 games next year, you might be having a new head coach and a new general manager. The money line, or the line right now in Vegas, is 5.5 wins for the New York Giants this year. It's one of the most bet team prompts out there right now. Type M for more, type L for less. 5.5 wins for the Giants this year. I'm going more. I am. I think this team can win up to 8 games. I think there's a world where this team can win 9 games. I also think there's a world where this team can win 5 games. But I think the roster got better, and they drastically improved at the most important position in all of sports. I believe Russell Wilson is a much better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I guess we'll find out once the season is over and when we get to fully see the Giants win total for the year. If you want to continue the conversation about today's video or anything New York Football Giants related, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Let's go Giants.